Good day everyone, a very warm welcome to you. It's Nick here. Now we reviewed quite a lot of ZX Spectrum games on the channel, still going up and up and up and up and up. We're never going to run out, but here's a quick review then of snapshots of all the games in the next section. It's ZX Spectrum games reviews so far, 1251 through to 1300. So we start this time round with Pac-Man Arcade, a spin or a modern day conversion of Pac-Man from Namco from the arcades in 1980. Atari Soft did do the original one back in the day in 1984, so this one is good to see. If you want more information on any of these games, then check out the full review in the playlist of ZX Spectrum. Very arcadey, I like the sounds of the thing. It's a great conversion. There'll be another Pac-Man conversion a bit later on, again a homebrew, so a bit spoilt for choice here. Then we've got Not in 3D. Now this is a bit of a weird idea. You're sailing here, there and everywhere, and basically you're trying to survive as long as possible, avoiding all the trails you leave behind you and the other trails that might be on the screen. It's a bit bewildering, very tough one to review, and as I say, remember to blink when playing this game. Up, down, left and right, there's a play area which is going to get gradually more full up with these lines, and you should try and avoid them. Star Dragon, a shooter, a little bit like Master Blaster. The ship is a little bit big for this very narrow cavern, but and there's power-ups to collect. Also, it's not one of my favourite ones. It's a lot of the right hand of the screen is being used up with the details rather than the game itself, but I do like that star field in the background. Not too bad, but out of the two, I would go for Master Blaster. There's thousands and thousands of ZX Spectrum games out there, and we are just stress busting as we go through. Coins of Mine, a great homebrew, loads of great homebrews coming out at the moment. This guy here has to go from pick up a coin, then get it to the finishing line. Great music in there, and it's stuff to be worked out. The character's quite small, but they do pack a lot of character into that individual one. It's one a bit like an 8x8 graphic character there. Coins of Mine, you can't go wrong with this, and you can download that for free, I believe, from Spectrum Computing. Will they ever give me a shout out? I don't know. 10th Frame, bowling game. It's tricky to come out with good bowling games, but I suppose this is as good as they get on the Spectrum. Select your speed and hook. It's a timing thing by getting as many strikes as you possibly can. Set up a number of games. The animation of the guy bowling is pretty good as well. So if you're into bowling, I'm not sure how many people are or how it would have got into this game, because if you're into bowling, why don't you go bowling instead of playing this game? Well, there we go. It's all a bit red. Again, remember to blink. The guy's wearing red clothes and he's camouflage. Phileas Fogg's Balloon Battles. Yes, like that novel, was it from Jules Verne or H.G. Wells, or one of those two? But there was never balloon battling going on in any of the novels. We've taken a break from our 80-day trip around the world in our balloon to bomb a load of bad guys, and why not? Pretty tricky to control. You are a bit of a sitting target here in a slow-moving hot air balloon, but good luck with that. Bomb everything, and you're on to the next stage. Hell Tag, a great fun one this one. It's a shooter over single screen, gradually getting more and more difficult. A cracking theme tune that will accompany you along with this. You can jump as well, you can change directions in mid-air, I think, from memory. But there's two difficulty levels you get if you buy this. Easy and hard. Hard, well, there's more stuff on the screen to blast you, and I found this a lot of fun. I think someone might have sent me this, to be honest with you. I can't quite remember. Angel Nieto Pole 500. You have to compare this with games like Super Hang-On. It's not as good as Super Hang-On. It's all in Spanish, but it's good enough. If you can understand the instructions and the controls, which I sort of like got a hang of, it's pretty good. The frame rate isn't too bad. The bike man's a bit too big, really, and the wheel doesn't turn. But compared to Enduro and Super Hang-On, it hangs onto those hills without ever getting into the lead. Shooty thing is like a reclaimed unfinished game that's never released back in the day. There's no sound to speak of. It feels a little bit like a demo, because I suppose it is. A bit unfair to give this a review if it never was completed, but I like what's there so far. It's very, very smooth. The alien waves are quite good. I like the ship. I like everything about it, but why was it never finished? I don't know. I mean, it could be quite a cracking little game, this one. Shooty Thing. And what a name. I like their name. The Jetsons, based on that cartoon, The Jetsons, which is like a future version of the Flintstones. Nice idea. I like the cartoon, a lot of people didn't. Good music playing throughout on the 128K version, but the gameplay is so annoying. Avoid this if you can do. You're controlling first of all George, the head of the household, who must get out of the factory and there find the exit. Other levels will see you controlling some of the other characters, but good luck if you can ever get there. Most of the time you'll be falling down annoying holes in the floor and going around in circles. Here's one, Rock and Wrestle. Yes, a very ambitious sort of like game, but it's large graphics there. By doing the right combinations, you can put up all different moves, and there's a number of fighters to attack. I found it a little bit awkward, but the graphics are good, the audience are good, which in a lot of these sort of games they're not. It's one to be practiced on, and as a newbie noob, I really struggled. Once I was picked up like this, I found it very hard to escape. A bit like in real life, I suppose. Jet Set Steamboat Willie. It's not based on the original Jet Set Willie engine, but influenced by it, and also influenced by the cartoon Steamboat Willie from Disney way back when. The license is expired for them, so that's why the authors picked this one. But yes, it's really nice to see. I was expecting something made with the, the Jet Set Willie editor, but it's a game in its own right. You control Mickey Mouse, and I love the thing. All in black and white, reminiscent of the original cartoon. Backpacker's Guide to the Universe. Well, it's a slide on the name Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which was a novel by Douglas Adams. Yes, you go around like a Wally here, jetpacking away. Pretty hard to control, but I do like the colours. You have to pick up objects and put them in the right place to escape from this sort of thing. I'm trying to remember it as I'm playing it. We've reviewed so many games now. And as I say, if you want to see the full reviews, they're all there. This is just working as an archive there. Arkanoid. Now, my version was going a bit faster than the original game. I did quite well considering. So don't worry, the game doesn't normally go this quick. It was just my emulation was doing something a bit silly. And people told me, actually, within the review. How am I controlling this? I do not know. But anyway, here it goes away. Lots of upgrades and stuff like that. My favourite game of these ones was always Batty. You got that with 3-bit tape there. Do. Off we go again. Boom boom. Pac-Man RX. Yes, this is by Hooray. The second of the Pac-Man conversions, and this one's good as well. Which one do I prefer? Well, I like them both equally, I have to say. I would like to say I prefer one more than the other, but I like both of them. The graphics on the side, which is a nice touch to this, either side are reminiscent of the arcade cabinet, what was on the side there, so that's good attention to detail and something I can really get hold of. Good music. I'm always a sucker for the Pac-Man music, and here it is in Pac-Man RX. Doomsday Castle, the sequel to the Pyramids. You might recognise Ziggy, the main character here, and it's a similar idea. Shoot stuff to then get through an exit, which then opens, but you've got to shoot a hole through it first at this time. So a very worthy sequel, I should say. It's the same game, but although you're on different levels, it's the same game that keeps repeating with different nasties each time, which the Pyramid also did. Good old Ziggy, he played guitar. It's called to David Bowie. Sequel to Arkanoid. This is Arkanoid Revenge of Doe, also available in the arcades. Unlike as you can see, it's looking very pedestrian pace now compared to the speed of Arkanoid, which on my version was running too quick. I love this game. All the upgrades are there. The only bugbear I've got is the backgrounds. Sometimes they're a little bit busy, especially when they're moving up as well, and it does your eyes in. You've got a red bat, a red ball, and a red background. There's one later on which is green. It's a killer. See, the thing's moving now. And it's tricky. Match 3, this is a homebrew. It's not like a pairing game. You have to match 3 pictures together, but they're different pictures because they're all of a theme. So you can have 3 cars, 3 vegetables and things like that. It's all in black and white. I don't know why they didn't go for colour. They could do, but cracking music all the way through this, as a lot of the modern day homebrews are. Match 3 does what it says on the tin. You have to match 3 pictures together and then it's on to the next stage. Hooray! Strange Loop, and it's a strange game as well. An exploration game where partly you control this spaceman, and then when you release a ship you're going around in that. It's pretty ungainly in terms of the exploration thing. I think a lot of the time I would have been going around like a Wally, not knowing what I was doing. And that's a similar experience I had playing it as an adult, to be honest with you. The oxygen supply is gradually going to go down. And yes, make of it what you will. It's a mad one. It's a crazy one. A map will be useful. Labour Man, pretty basic game. There's two methods. I think is there two methods of play? One method of play. Anyway, there is. This is the one where I well remember, Nicky. This is one where you're just exploring stuff. You try and get as far as you possibly can in infinite mazes, it seems, till the time runs out. But after a while, you'll be getting to the same place every single time. The other game on this is the other gaming mode. You're leaving like a trail behind you and can't hit the trail. A bit like Snake, I suppose. That's Labraman. Impossible. This is a homebrew. I was a sucker for this because I love green vector graphics. It's amazing what they can do now with compilers and amount of stuff on the screen there. But I was blown away at how smoothly this thing moves. But control your ball, if you can do, to get from one side to the other, then get all the way back again without hitting all the stuff. You need to collect batteries, I think, on the way through too. It will test your ingenuity, it will test your patience, it will test your skills. It won't test your eyesight though, it's all in green. Tomcat, vertical scrolling shooter, there are better ones available. What the zxspectrum always seems to struggle on is when you've got monochrome games like this, is seeing the bullets firing at you and back and forward there. It does scroll slightly left and right, but I would have preferred a wider plane area rather than going for that way round, and the ship really is a bit too big. Aircraft don't move like that. It would have worked better as a helicopter, but then it would have been an obvious copy of Swiv. But something about it don't quite work, but it was budget label. Riding the rapids, now you've got different courses to go down. You need to maneuver your canoe through here by going through the gates also, otherwise you get penalties, and it's all about getting the quickest time you possibly can. So it's one of those ones where you're writing down your times and seeing if your friends could beat it. All the courses are relatively short, but depending on the difficulty level you select will depend on, the difficulty level. Well done, Nick. No one describes it quite like you. Anti-Air, another one from Inner Photo. They always have this very similar music. It uses a lot of the graphics in the future each time, but it's Space Invaders with a difference. The Space Invaders will drop these blocks, which is limiting the amount of space you've got on the screen to move backward and forward. I don't know why you're shooting something that looks very much like the ship as well, which clouds the ship when you fire it. Was that a mistake or was that intentional? But, Inner Future's games have a feel to it. You can't knock it for that. It certainly has a style that no one else has. They don't move as smoothly as other homebrews. Maze Mania, this one's a glory for the eyes. A bit like Pac-Mania, but instead, or Pac-Man, but instead you've got to change all the tiles to a different colour by going over them. And you can jump as well. Different themes on each stage. I think the next one is jungle, and avoid the nasties. You're a bit zoomed in, which makes it a little bit more difficult than it should be. But can't argue with this. The computer is obviously doing a lot here to keep up with it, and it's a triumph. Impossible, separate from Impossible, which might have been influenced by this. Not vector graphics this time, full-on graphics, 3D. We need to use this ball to knock down all these pipes, and man is it difficult to try and line up with stuff. I never got off level 1 in the thing, so let me know if you actually did. But Impossible is easier than Impossible, and I did find this impossible. So perhaps that's what they meant there. There's another one for me to get. Kaboom! Borscht. Now, how did they do this? It's a Doom clone on the zxspectrum 128K. The author did comment on this video that there's an enhanced version somewhere, and they might be working on a different one. It's got a bit of colour, let you be able to see better. But the frame rate, although from modern day standards is rubbish, for the zxspectrum it's doing rather good. I found it rather hard to see where I was going, but I think that's been addressed in other levels. The music is absolutely awesome. I don't know how they got the computer to move at all with more than 1 frame rate every hour, but it's good. Mille Miles, it's a French game. The ship, or I say the car, handles a bit, unpredictably. It slides all over the place, but go as quick as you can. Don't take any damage. I prefer checkered flag out of the two, but it's very French. There's no obstacles. The car feels like a Formula 1 car from the late 60s and early 70s. But just do minor course changes. Doesn't feel like you're driving a car at all. It's like you're threading a needle through the eye of what's the name. Bounder, good idea, but not sure it makes a great game. You control this bouncing tennis ball, gorgeous graphics, and you must land on all the hexagons and don't land on any of the other scenery, or it's instant death. I had to play it with a Pokemon because I was getting nowhere after a certain point. But if you like bouncing tennis balls and you're good at precision, then this one is for you. There's a few upgrades as you go through, and that is essential for getting any distance, especially extra lives. The return of Trackstore, influenced by games such as Columns and Tetris. You must grab the shapes that are already in the grid and then dump them back down again to get 3 in a row, either horizontally or vertically, to make them disappear to get to the next stage. This ship here is using a tractor beam, hence the return of Trackstore. Don't you open that Trackstore, you're a fool if you dare. No, that was something else. It's a sequel to The Legend of Trackstore, which we haven't played yet, so we need to look at that. Motormania, a game programmed in BASIC, we'll occasionally look at nowadays and then break into it, for will-be coders want to learn about basic programming, and boy, this is basic. Essentially, it's just bad scrolling, but basic scrolling, and it's teaching you about collision detection. So if you want to know about how to lose a life when stuff bumps into other stuff, then you should break into this one. Motormania, Red Road, well, maybe they can change the colour. You might be able to do that to avoid the oil. DEFCON, a great idea, but I'm not sure it's a very good game. This ship here is firing on aliens going around planet Earth or somewhere or other, but it just doesn't seem to go anywhere. You can bring up a display to turn on shields or activate other weapons, but you know, you need to get a certain score for it to go to the next stage, and a certain score is a lot of grinding, and after a while you think, why am I bothering, and then suddenly play something else. So it's a shame. It's a start of something that could have been really, really good. There's the control system there. Chi-Man, not He-Man, Chi-Man. You must, it's a platformer, a homebrew. By collecting keys and going through doors, you must collect skulls or coins and put them into certain tubes to get to the next stage. And they are varied stages. What I like about this is, look at all the attention to detail in terms of creating shadows, and that gives the game some glorious amount of depth. It really pops out the screen. So well done, Chi-Man, for that. That's its biggest success, I would say. DEFCON 1, no, not DEFCON from before, this is called DEFCON 1. It's a Swiv impersonator, which, well, it could be a lot better, really. Again, although this is multicoloured, not monochrome, I still found it hard to see what was shooting at me and get out the way quickly. But fans of this sort of genre, would be good for a few plays at least, but not something to spend your entire life on. You know, things are hard to try and beat Swiv on 128k. This one makes a fair effort, but doesn't really get there. Motorbike Madness, another one in a good idea. It's a 3D environment, isometric. You're going down a course, it's all downhill, and you just avoid the obstacles and get to the end without falling over or dying. Now, I found the controls very, very difficult to live with. You know, left, right, and forward and all that sort of stuff. I always struggle with isometric games, but for some reason this felt a little bit more difficult. I've simply reviewed it on the Commodore Amiga. It's got colour in it, but it's the same sort of problems I had. Motorbike Madness, play Marble Madness instead. Face Punch, now this is a lot of fun. It's made for the Crap Game Contest, and I think it's been reworked a bit later on. But 2 characters, you're the one on the left with the green shorts, obviously punch the guy's lights out and make him fall over. You have to win 3 out of 5 rounds, and if you do that, well, it doesn't really go anywhere at all. But you can hack into this game, a bit like a Motormania, and see the programming. So another one, collision detection, how did they do the graphics, and all that sort of stuff. So you can learn a bit there. Mutant Monty, not related to any of the Monty games. It's like influenced by Jet Set Willy, I would suppose, and Manic Miner, in terms of you've got to collect objects and get to the exit, but man, does it control weirdly. Feels like it's slipping around like the guys on ice, and you only have to time it to perfection to get anywhere. But it's a nice idea. A lot of people might have got control of it. There's plenty of levels there to do. I didn't get more than a few of them down, but anyway, good luck me. Swevo's World. Now, I don't know why it's got Stan Laurel on the cover, because he's certainly not in the game. Swevo's a creature with a big head. There's different missions you can go on, but all of them seem to involve finding a central enemy or character and then you know, blasting them. You can't jump, you can't shoot, and yeah, that is the latest problem with this. But you can pick up objects and dump them. There's a face there in the top left. The more depressed that is, the least energy you got. But move on. It's clever, but I wanted something else. Johnny the Ghost. It starts off very, very easy. A nice little homebrew here. You control this ghost which can't move through anything, but he needs to collect these golden helmets on each stage, and then that's the end of it there. So by moving blocks and certain other things, there you know what to do, don't you? You've got to arrange them in the correct way. There we go. Nice, he says. Well done, Johnny the Ghost. You'll be doing at least a few levels before you get super stuck, but you know, there's on a timer each time, and they were slowing down. Atomic Robo Kid. Now this was never completed. There it's only a demo version, so it's a bit hard to judge it, but the controls feel a little bit clunky. But even having said that, I wouldn't mind it being completed. There's no sound on this version, but I think it could be quite good. Maybe move it a little slower and get a few kabiffs and kabows about the place. We've since reviewed this on the Commodore Amiga and the Mega Drive as well, so check that one out too to see if the Mega Drive's got power to deliver it maybe a little bit better. Another boxing game. This is Box, B-O-K-S. I'm living in a box, living. Now the most unusual crowd you'd ever see. Look in the middle, there's two cows there. But yeah, more advanced than Face Punch, but I found Face Punch more fun. A variety of special moves there. I like the way the energy goes down with those boxing gloves each side. But another one of those ones where you could do tactics, or you could just bowl in and do the same move over and over again, and that's it. 2 difficulty levels, or against the computer. Not really enough. There we go, and here's the next one. Aznar Sports Star. Here he comes. Apparently he was a former president of Spain, I think. Here he goes to do a jump. Lots of events here. And again, believe it or not, this is programmed in BASIC too. It's a very hefty program, but you can learn really a lot from this. I liked all the events apart from the swimming, which I found a bit hard to get control of. But if they run this through a compiler, then, you know, it might go super fast. Have a look at this if you want to create a sports game. Athlete, a lot more basic than Aznar Sports Star. It has got the hammer in it, 100 metres, 110 metre hurdles, 400 metre hurdles and a couple of sprints. But unlike Daily Times Decathlon, this isn't going to break your joystick into your skill level. You select what effort your athlete is putting in there on the right hand side. You can alter that throughout the race, and you must balance power with distance. If you run out of power before the finishing line, you will collapse and that'll be game over. But I think you can train your athlete a little bit. Grand Prix tennis, isometric tennis, what a terrible idea. It sure looks nice from the screenshots, but try positioning your player in the right place and knock these back, and you'll be ripping your hair out for not too long. I got a few of the balls back, but by winning a game, no chance. I did take it to Juice a couple of times, but that was about it. That's the closest I got. Congratulations on trying something different, but it just don't work. Either do the side view, or, you know, chase view as they call it from behind. Omelettes for breakfast is another good one from Gabriel Moore. I found this a bit more difficult than most of these games, but each time you must get an egg into that frying pan. There's a lot of variety between the levels. I do like the different colours on the main character. That's very tricky to do, but yes, it's a very difficult one. I sort of got the hang of it the first few levels on the review, but I sense that you could go back and do a little bit better. It's playing the Chattanooga Choo Choo, which I really had trouble saying. Doobie-doo-doo. Hundra, this is a woman that doesn't wear many clothes, but she's got to rescue her dad, who's been framed for something, because the gods did it, or something or other. But anyway, that doesn't matter. She's on a mission. It moves quite quick, this one, for the game back in the day. And a map would be useful here, but it's pretty easy to control. Fire, shoot. Fire and shoot, they're the same things there. But yeah, if you like controlling a woman that's not wearing very much, here she is. 100. T-Bird, influenced by games such as Space Harrier and Afterburner. The ship doesn't lean each side. It's better than the Amiga version, funnily enough, that I've since played, but I wanted a bit more. There's a lot going on screen, a lot moving at the same time, which be commended for that, but I can't help thinking it could have been a bit better. Master the power-ups up the top. You get an extra power-up for destroying all of the enemy wave each time. It's T-Bird, it's an also-ran. All right for a couple of moments there. Escape from Colony 8. Reminds me a little bit of Alien Syndrome, if you're aware of that game. But aliens have invaded this colony. You must reach the hangar and escape. It's got respawning enemies in the game, which I'm never a big fan of. But it's another one of those ones of going around collecting keys and getting to certain bits of the screen. A bit like Alien Breed, I suppose, by Team 17. It's a game that came later. No, it came earlier, I suppose, because this is a homebrew on the Commodore Amiga. Again, a map will be extremely useful. Glider Rider, you need to destroy 10 reactors, I think, on your bike by exploring the map. You control either a motorbike or a hang glider, which are interspersed by either one. I never really got the hang of it, so I couldn't turn into the hang glider, but people have since told me how to do it. You get off a slope and reverse the joysticks. Great music on the 128K version. I played it on the 48K because that's all all I had available. I had a 48k back in the day, and apparently a lot of atmosphere is lost if you don't play it on the 128k version. Mighty Magus, the last one in this section. You control a wizard. He starts at the top of the screen. You must ascend through 30 levels. Obviously avoid the traps and stuff. You must kill a dragon, then return to the top of the screen. Man, it is tricky. By searching rubbish heaps and chests, you will get bonus strength and magic to use on the dragon at the end. You see I'm on level 28 here. I need to get down another 27 levels to get to that dragon and then return to the back. Teleports don't make it easy. So I hope you like looking at them. As I said before, if you liked any of those and wanted more information, because it was limited to 30 seconds, then check out the full review in the ZX Spectrum playlist. You can get there by clicking on my username, takes to the channel page, click on the playlist tab, and ZX Spectrum will be there along with other stuff. So the stress busting will always continue. We're not going to run out. Some people often get worried they're going to run out. There's tens of thousands of games out there. So till next time, here's the next 50. Take great care of yourself and a very fond goodbye.
Goodbye.